So you were talking to me a little bit earlier when you were telling me your story that your dad is kind of resistant to raising another child, and you were talked a couple times about him dealing with your mom's spending. So it sounds like on top of the added burden of the monetary burden of your sister and your nephew, that your mom kind of goes through your dad's money. Is that what you were saying? So
yeah,
that causes some.
it causes a lot of stress, and so I think that me leaving the picture, moving out of the house, and not really being there to help with all the Dylan expenses and Dylan time, I just think it would be too much. And I mean, he always tells her he just can't raise another child.
Too much of a financial and emotional burden for.
And she just has a spending problem, and I mean, she spends credit card after credit card, and in college she opened a credit card in my name.
Well, that might be a direction to look at also. I know that's just one more thing, but that might be a direction for you maybe to help your dad. If he could get your mom into some type of, if you could get that cut off. I know that's not always the easiest thing to do, but where they're married, he would have the ability to maybe stop the credit cards for now, and that might give him a little bit of control over that part of the financial aspect of their relationship. Because it sounds like the financial end of it is part of the problem too. And in looking at that, I have some resources that you might be able to call upon to help with the daycare.
Okay.
Because I know that when a person's disabled and they're in and out of the hospital and in and out of hospice and things, that there are some programs to help with the daycare where you wouldn't have to be spending her only source of income on daycare. And another thing I was going to ask you about, you talked about he has some discipline problems. Dylan has some discipline problems.
Some very big discipline problems.
And that causes kind of some tension between your mom and your dad.
Yes.
And so that's something else. I'm positive, her being on disability, that she's on Medicare, but Dylan is covered also.
Yeah.
And that would definitely cover counseling for Dylan. That might be something you could talk to your sister about first. You know, kind of have a little heart-to-heart with her maybe, so she doesn't feel blindsided, and say, you know, we realize that you had a hard time raising Dylan. And coming from an abusive relationship also, there's no telling what he saw, what he went through, whether he was abused himself. So I think counseling would be a great idea for him, and that might help ease some of the tension in the home also. And that's covered.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be anything coming out of anybody's pocket. It's totally covered. Another thing that might be a possibility is support groups in your area for your sister for abuse victims. Might be really good for her. And then support groups for families that are caring for sick or disabled family members. And I know that in most of those support groups they have what's called respite care, or if they really work together well, and say there might be a possibility that someone could take care of your sister for a weekend, and then maybe you could volunteer to take care of someone else's for a weekend, and it doesn't cost anything, and it gives both families the ability to have some private time, some alone time. You're talking about maybe wanting to get away with your mom and your dad and go see your other family members, but you're not able to do that now.
Yeah, we're not able to.
And maybe if you could do that, you might be able to bond a little bit more back with your mom and dad. It seems like this has put a lot of stress on your relationship as a family, which makes it even harder, you know, to deal with what you're dealing with. If you guys could bond together and work together and share the burden of what's going on, and that might strengthen your relationship. Talk to your dad a little bit about your mom's spending. See if there's anything, you know, I know there's programs out there for, I know there's Gamblers Anonymous, so I'm pretty sure that there's programs out there that have to do with people that have a problem with spending.
She definitely needs to do something like that, but I mean, she's been reformed once and, or said she was, and they took out a second mortgage on the house, and then, I mean, it's happened again, and like I said, the credit card in college, and she just, I mean, she has the last time we found out, she had opened a P.O. box on the other side of town, and was having all her bills
The
and
bills
things
sent there.
so no one would find out, and it's just,
Yeah, so see, she's got some things that, that if you could maybe talk to your dad and to her and see if they were willing, if she was willing maybe to go into some type of counseling also, because there's a possibility that this added stress and added anxiety that's coming in the home might just make her want to spend more and more and more. So that's something you need to look out for too.
yeah.
And I was also, as I was listening to your talk, I was listening to you, you have a lot of, I can't leave, I can't go, I'm needed here. You talked about, like I said, rescuing your sister, rescuing, and that's a very, I know you love your sister, that's a very noble thing to do, but you also talked about you didn't ask for it and you want your own life, and that's very normal too. You went to all the work of going to school, got an education, got a good job, were able to travel around, do what you enjoy doing, and now you're in a situation where you actually have a child. Basically you have a child you didn't plan for, and so we need to find ways to help you get your life back, get your identity back. I think if you could have a life and friends and do things that you like to do. Do you do any of that for yourself right now? Do you?
I occasionally I go out with my friends, but when I do, I just come home to a more stressful environment because I wasn't there to help, and I'm told that it was selfish of me to go out and spend this time out partying when that's what all my friends are doing at this age.
Exactly.
And that's what I wanted for myself. I mean, I don't want to be partying all the time, but I want to go out, and I want to be able to go out with my friends dancing or drinking or doing whatever we want to do, or spend a weekend away, and I'm not afforded that.
Right, and that is natural. That is normal. You don't have any responsibilities per se that you put on yourself, and it sounds, maybe it's just your dad's frustration, your mom and dad's frustration, and not that they honestly think you're selfish, but that they feel like you're feeling stuck. They might be feeling stuck.
And I'm
also.
sure they do, because they can't go visit my niece, my other sister's daughter, because we need somebody to take care of
all the
Stanette.
time.
And I work event planning, like I said, for the Army, and a lot of that is in the evenings. We're planning marathons for the moms, or the spouses that are on base, and family fun days for the kids, and concerts at night. And so my job is really odd hours, and so they get away when they can, but they don't even have that opportunity either. So
do they both work, or are they retired?
They both work. They can't retire because of my mom's spending problem. So
all of you have really busy, not only busy at home with your sister and your nephew, you're also very busy in all your own careers.
Exactly.
So I'm just thinking that maybe if we could check into type of respite care or a nurse, someone that could come into the home, someone that could help you guys out, because we're looking at 3 really busy adults, and all of you sound like you're really close to burnout. And that's one of the most important things. We talked a little bit about self-care, and for you to be able to take care of yourself, your parents to be able to take care of themselves, because you have a sister that needs help and a nephew, and if all of you are burnt out and fighting and not getting along, not working together, you guys won't be able to help her.
Yeah.
So it seems like what we're looking at is a way to, like I said, to give you back your life, to help you take care of your sister and your nephew and your